Before you go any further in this day, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. Because what I'm about to tell you could very well be the turning point of your life. You see, for years you've been walking around with invisible chains, chains forged by doubt, comparison, and fear. You've been told that you must become more, achieve more, prove more, be more before you can finally feel worthy. But the truth, my friend, is this. You were enough the very moment you took your first breath. You've simply forgotten it. The world has conditioned you to believe that worth is earned through validation, applause, and approval, that success defines value and failure erases it. But the universe doesn't see you that way. The universe recognizes energy, and your energy, when you believe in yourself, is unstoppable. When you wake up each morning thinking you're not enough, you plant the seed of limitation, and that seed grows roots so deep you stop even trying to reach higher ground. But listen closely. Every single person who ever achieved greatness had to face this same battle within. They had to look in the mirror and choose to rewrite the story of their own worth. The story doesn't begin when others believe in you. It begins when you do. You are not a mistake. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply in the process of remembering who you already are. The law of life is simple. What you think of yourself, you attract from the world. If you see yourself as inadequate, you'll attract experiences that confirm it. But if you stand tall, even in uncertainty, and say, I am enough, I have always been enough, I will always be enough, you shift the very vibration of your existence. Suddenly, opportunities, people, and miracles start aligning, not because they change, but because you did. The time has come to silence that voice that whispers you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. You must speak back to it with courage. I was created for more. I am not defined by my mistakes, but refined by them. I am not less than anyone. I am a masterpiece in progress. The moment you accept this, the game of life changes. You stop chasing approval and start walking in purpose. And when that happens, something powerful awakens. You begin to live, not to impress, but to express. You begin to love yourself without conditions. You stop competing and start creating. That is when peace enters your heart, because peace is the reward for those who finally believe they are enough. So, if you take one truth from this message, let it be this. There is nothing you need to earn, prove, or fix to deserve the life you dream of. You already have everything you need within you. Believe that you are enough, and you will watch your entire world transform in ways that words could never fully describe. You are not what the world says you are. You are what you decide to become. And when you decide that you are enough, the universe will agree with you every single time. Would you like me to now write the conclusion plus SEO-friendly YouTube description with timestamps, hashtags, and keywords for this 22-minute speech like your previous ones? The greatest war you will ever fight will not be against another person, a system, or a circumstance. It will be against the small, quiet voice within you that whispers you're not enough. That voice has lived in your mind for years, disguised as reason, pretending to protect you from failure, rejection, and pain, but in truth it has been the very force holding you back from everything you were meant to become. Every time you have hesitated to take a step forward, every time you have silenced your ideas, every time you have compared yourself to someone else and felt smaller, it was that inner voice convincing you to retreat. It was not the world that doubted you. It was you who believed the lie. From childhood, society begins to mold your belief system. You are graded, judged, measured, and compared until your sense of worth becomes dependent on performance. Slowly, you begin to associate achievement with identity, applause with validation, and perfection with love. So when you fall short, even slightly, you start to question your very existence. That questioning creates a habit of self-doubt so strong that it becomes automatic. And once self-doubt becomes automatic, it takes control of your destiny. You wake up every day fighting battles that no one can see. You smile on the outside while a war rages inside your mind. But understand this, every thought you repeat becomes a belief, and every belief becomes a command to your subconscious mind. If your inner command says, I am not enough, life will obediently reflect that belief through missed opportunities, broken confidence, and unrealized potential. The moment you decide to challenge that voice is the moment your real transformation begins. You must become aware of the war happening within you and take control of it. You must stand in front of the mirror, not to find your flaws, but to confront the truth that you have been your own opponent all along. The voice that limits you is not your truth. It is the echo of fear. And fear only survives in the absence of faith. You must replace that fear with faith. Faith in your ability, faith in your purpose, faith in the unseen power that created you with intention and intelligence. The mind that can create doubt can also create destiny. You decide which one it will be. Every great accomplishment begins when someone decides to stop fighting themselves. You cannot win external battles while losing the internal one. You cannot command the universe to deliver abundance while believing you are undeserving of it. The battle within is not won through perfection, but through awareness, forgiveness, and persistence. The moment you catch that voice whispering doubt, speak louder with truth. Remind yourself that you are capable, valuable, and destined for greatness. That internal victory will ripple into every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your confidence, and your peace. The true victory is not when the world believes in you, but when you finally believe in yourself. One of the greatest illusions that steals human happiness is the lie of comparison. From the moment you wake up, you are surrounded by images and voices telling you who you should be, how far you should have gone, and what success should look like. You scroll through the achievements of others and unknowingly weigh your worth against their highlight reels. You begin to measure your journey through the lens of someone else's timeline, forgetting that no two lives are meant to unfold in the same rhythm. Comparison is the silent thief of joy. It drains gratitude, distorts perception, and convinces you that your value depends on how well you match the world's expectations. It blinds you to your own growth because your eyes are too focused on someone else's destination. Every time you compare yourself to another, you declare that their path is more valuable than yours. You forget that life is not a race, but a personal pilgrimage. The person you envy may be walking through challenges you could not see. The success you admire might be built on foundations of pain, sacrifice, or even emptiness. Yet you only see the surface, the reflection, never the full story. When you compare, you build an illusion, a mirage that promises satisfaction but delivers despair. You lose the joy of becoming because you are too busy chasing the image of being someone else. The truth is, your journey has its own timing. Every delay, every detour, every closed door serves a purpose in shaping your character. You are not behind, you are being prepared. The oak tree does not envy the rose because it understands that its roots must go deeper before it can stand taller. The universe does not rush creation. It allows everything to bloom when it's ready, and you are no different. The life you desire will unfold at the exact moment you stop doubting your own path. Comparison teaches you to look outward when all the answers you need are already within. The measure of your worth is not found in titles, possessions, or applause. It is found in your ability to live in alignment with who you truly are. When you stop comparing, you begin to notice the quiet miracles of your own progress. The confidence you've built, the lessons you've learned, the battles you've survived. You begin to see that your story, with all its imperfections, is still unfolding in divine order. You must free yourself from the prison of comparison and return to the power of individuality. There is no one like you. There has never been. And there never will be. Your mind, your voice, your vision, all are uniquely designed for the role only you can play in this vast orchestra of life. The moment you accept that truth, you stop competing and start creating. You begin to live not for approval, but for purpose. And that, my friend, is where freedom begins. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide to stop fighting who they are and start embracing it. That moment, though quiet and unseen by the world, marks the beginning of true freedom. Self-acceptance is not about ignoring your flaws or pretending that you are perfect. It's about understanding that you are whole even while you grow. The power of self-acceptance lies in this simple truth. You do not become valuable after you fix yourself. You are valuable because you exist. Every scar, every mistake, every chapter of your life has shaped you into the masterpiece that you are today. Yet so many people spend their lives in a constant struggle against themselves, believing that peace will come only when they become better. But peace doesn't arrive after perfection. It begins the moment you decide to love yourself exactly as you are. You have been taught to chase approval from others, to earn acceptance through performance, to wear masks that please the world. But deep down, the part of you that longs to be seen, heard, and understood grows weary. The soul cannot thrive under the pressure of pretending. The world does not need a copy of someone else. It needs the full expression of you. When you accept yourself, you no longer live to meet expectations. You begin to live in authenticity. Authenticity is magnetic. It draws opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your truth because life always responds to sincerity. Self-acceptance is not complacency. It is the foundation of transformation. When you stop hating who you are, you create space to become who you were meant to be. The energy you once spent criticizing yourself becomes the energy you use to grow. Think about it. How can you evolve if you are constantly at war with your own reflection? You must learn to treat yourself with the same compassion you so easily offer others. You must forgive yourself for the mistakes you made when you didn't know better. You must honor your journey, even the parts that didn't go as planned, because those moments were your greatest teachers. Every day, stand before yourself with gratitude. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask, "What's right about me?" The shift may seem small, but it is life-changing. You begin to see yourself not as a collection of flaws, but as a work of divine intelligence in progress. You realize that your uniqueness is not a weakness, it is your greatest strength. When you accept yourself fully, you stop needing the world to validate you. You become your own source of peace. The power of self-acceptance is the power of freedom. Freedom from comparison, from doubt, from fear of judgment. It allows you to live boldly, speak your truth, and pursue your purpose without apology. When you accept yourself, you give others permission to do the same. And that is how one person's quiet self-love begins to heal the world. There is a law that governs the rise and fall of every human being, a law often ignored because it is not visible to the eye, yet it determines the entire course of your life. It is the law of inner value. This law states that your worth does not increase when others praise you, nor does it decrease when they reject you. Your value is constant, eternal, and unshakable because it was given to you at birth, not earned through achievement. The tragedy of the modern mind is that people spend their entire lives trying to earn something that was already theirs. They chase recognition, wealth, and approval as proof of worth, yet the more they chase, the emptier they feel because nothing external can replace what was meant to be known internally. The world has taught you to measure yourself by numbers, your income, your followers, your grades, your success, but the universe doesn't measure value in such terms. The universe recognizes vibration, not statistics. When you walk with the energy of someone who knows their worth, you attract experiences that match it. When you walk with the energy of someone who doubts themselves, life mirrors that back to you as scarcity, rejection, and struggle. Your reality will always echo your belief about your own value. This is why some people, despite immense talent, never reach success, because they secretly believe they are not worthy of it. And others, with less skill but unshakable belief, rise to greatness simply because they knew they deserved it. Understanding your inner value does not mean arrogance or pride. It means living with quiet confidence, knowing that nothing external defines your essence. You could lose your possessions, your title, your popularity, and still remain whole. Why? Because your worth is not in what you have, but in what you are. You are consciousness, creativity, and potential wrapped in human form. No failure can take that away. The universe does not create anything without purpose, and you are no exception. To activate the law of inner value, you must stop looking outward for validation. You must stop asking the world, "Am I enough?" and begin telling the world, "I am." This shift transforms your energy. When you know your value, you make different decisions. You stop chasing relationships that drain you, opportunities that belittle you, and jobs that ignore your potential. You begin to act in alignment with your worth, and life starts to rearrange itself around that belief. Your inner value is the seed of all success. Every goal, every dream, every achievement begins when you acknowledge the power already within you. If you think of yourself as small, you will live a small life. But when you see yourself as a being of limitless value, you begin to command abundance, respect, and love effortlessly. You no longer beg for what is yours. You attract it naturally because the world always mirrors the value you hold inside. The greatest transformation in life begins not in your circumstances, but in your mind. The mind is both the architect and the gatekeeper of destiny. It holds within it the power to build empires or destroy potential. Every thought you repeat becomes a command, and every command becomes a belief that governs your life. The truth is, you are not limited by the world around you. You are limited only by the thoughts you choose to believe about yourself. If those thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and inadequacy, they will shape a reality that mirrors those emotions. But if those thoughts are rooted in faith, confidence, and vision, they will open doors that once seemed impossible. The mind creates what it constantly imagines, and the world obeys the image you hold of yourself. You were not born with self-doubt. You were taught it. Every time someone told you that you couldn't, every time you failed and accepted that failure as identity, your mind recorded it. The subconscious mind does not question. It obeys. It does not argue. It accepts whatever you feed it repeatedly. That is why people stay trapped in cycles of fear and frustration. Their minds have been programmed to believe they cannot rise above their past. But here is the truth. The same mind that was programmed with doubt can be reprogrammed with faith. You have the power to rewire your mental patterns through repetition, affirmation, and aligned action. Every day, your mind listens to you more than anyone else. It hears every word you say, every thought you entertain. If you keep telling yourself, "I'm not enough," it will make sure your life proves it. But if you begin to say, "I am capable, I am deserving, I am powerful," your subconscious will find ways to confirm it. The words you speak are seeds. Plant doubt, and you harvest limitation. Plant belief, and you harvest possibility. That is why discipline of thought is not optional. It is essential. Your outer life is simply the reflection of your inner conversation. To reprogram the mind, you must feed it with clarity, not confusion, faith, not fear. Start by defining what you truly desire and imprinting that vision deep into your subconscious. Imagine it daily. Feel it as though it already exists, and act in harmony with that belief. Every time the old voice of doubt rises, replace it immediately with truth. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are a conscious creator capable of directing the energy of your thoughts toward abundance and purpose. The reprogramming of the mind is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong practice, but with every repetition, your old patterns weaken and your new ones strengthen. You begin to move differently, think differently, and attract differently, and soon what once felt impossible becomes inevitable, because the moment your mind accepts a new truth about you, the universe has no choice but to align with it. There comes a sacred moment in every life, a moment when you stop searching for validation, stop running from your doubts, and simply awaken to the truth that you are enough. This awakening is not loud or dramatic. It often happens in silence, in the middle of an ordinary day, when you realize that all the things you were chasing, approval, success, perfection, were never the source of fulfillment. They were reflections of a deeper hunger, the hunger to know your own worth. The awakening is the end of that hunger. It is the moment you stop begging the world to see you and start seeing yourself. It is when the battle within you finally finds peace, and you return to the truth that you were born complete, capable, and worthy of everything good life has to offer. When you awaken to your own enoughness, everything changes. You no longer measure your progress by comparison, you measure it by peace. You no longer seek to impress, you seek to express. You stop chasing what the world calls success and start building what your soul calls purpose. It is as if a fog lifts, revealing the path that was always beneath your feet. You realize that your power was never outside of you. It was within you all along, waiting to be remembered. This realization doesn't just change how you see yourself, it changes how life responds to you. Because when your inner vibration shifts, your outer world aligns. Those who live in self-doubt operate from scarcity. They believe there is never enough love, money, time, or opportunity. But those who have awakened to self-worth understand that abundance is not earned. It is allowed. When you believe you are enough, you stop blocking the flow of life. You begin to receive effortlessly because you are finally in harmony with the truth of who you are. The world becomes a mirror that reflects your inner certainty. People begin to treat you differently, not because they changed, but because your energy did. The awakening is not about arrogance or self-importance. It is about returning to balance. It is about knowing that you are not above anyone, but you are also not beneath anyone. You walk with quiet confidence, knowing you have nothing to prove and everything to offer. From this place, your words carry more weight, your actions more purpose, your presence more peace. You no longer react to criticism or rejection with pain because you understand they do not define you. You are free, free to live, free to love, free to create. This awakening is the true beginning of life. It is the point where fear loses its power, where the noise of the world fades, and your inner voice becomes your guide. You begin to trust yourself again, to trust your timing, your instincts, your journey. And with that trust comes clarity, power, and grace. You become unshakable, not because you are perfect, but because you finally remember that you always were enough. And that has been the truth all along. And now, as we come to the close of this message, I want you to take a deep breath, not to calm yourself, but to awaken something powerful within you. For too long you have lived under the illusion that you needed to become more, achieve more, or prove more before you could feel worthy. But the truth has been whispering to you all along. You were always enough. The struggle, the pain, the doubt, they were never punishments. They were invitations, invitations to remember who you are, to recognize the strength that has always lived within you, and to rise with a renewed sense of purpose. Every dream that calls to you is not random. It's a reflection of the greatness that already exists in you. Life is not asking you to become something else. It is asking you to become yourself fully. You do not need to seek permission to shine, to speak, to create, or to love. You only need to give yourself the permission to believe. When you finally accept your own enoughness, you stop living as a shadow of your potential and start walking as the light you were born to be. Look back at every challenge you've faced. You survived what once felt impossible. You've grown through storms that tried to break you. You've been building strength in silence. So when your mind tells you that you're not ready, remind yourself you already have everything it takes. The power is not in waiting for the world to recognize your value. It's in standing tall and declaring it yourself. The journey from self-doubt to self-belief is the greatest journey you will ever take. And when you arrive at that realization, when you truly feel deep within that you are enough, you will no longer chase peace, because peace will live within you. You will no longer beg for love, because love will flow from you. You will no longer fear failure, because you'll understand that you can never truly fail when you are growing. So as this message comes to an end, let a new beginning start inside you. Let today be the moment you release every lie that told you otherwise. Let this be the day you stand before the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say with absolute certainty, I am enough. I always have been. I always will be. Because when you finally believe that truth, not just in your mind but in your soul, your world will never be the same again. And that, my friend, is the power of awakening to your own greatness.